All right, welcome back, and we talk all things food, because food is more than just nourishment for the body. It's a way to bring people together and create joy. Chef Khumbelo Khangale is a master of this art, with a passion for creating dishes that delight the senses and stir the soul. Follow along as we explore Chef Khumbelo's culinary journey, from his first taste of cooking to his current work as a professional chef. Now, the private chef joins us now in studio to tell us more. Khumbelo,
Dandu.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Good to have you on the show, man. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Yes. Take us through how you started in the culinary space.
Well, I've been in the culinary industry or the hospitality industry for the past 12 years now. It started off as a waitron. I was a waiter at a restaurant.
Okay.
Because I couldn't find a job at the module that I studied at university.
Okay.
So after that, I fell in love with the food when I was a waiter, and then I decided to go to chef school after that. So I've worked at a few hotels and restaurants just to, brushing up on the cuisines and on the flavors that we actually brought for you today.
So how did your culinary studies, help you or prepare you for the professional culinary space?
I think school and industry itself are completely different.
Yes,
but I was lucky that I started as a waiter at a restaurant, so I got the action of the restaurant field before I went to school. But what you experience at school and what you experience
totally different,
it's totally different. A lot of people quit after industry, after school, when they're in the industry, because it's much difficult than school.
What is so difficult, though?
The pressure, the hours, the social hours that we work, holidays, Christmas we are working, New Year we are working, Valentine's Day we're supposed to spend with your person, we are working. So a lot of people struggle to adapt to that. Even the hours itself, you find we're working about 12-hour shifts a day, which is quite difficult. It needs people with a passion and who are strong for this industry.
World,
Exactly.
And for those who've been self-taught, or maybe taught by their family, their mothers, their grandmothers, who then decide to enroll at a culinary school, is there a difference, like what you learn in school and what you've learned from home?
Yeah, I feel like the terminology, you would learn them from school mostly, because when you go to establish restaurants and all that, they expect you to know all these terminologies, the wording of the food, the origin of the recipes and all those things. So self-taught, you would be taught how to cook a duck, but if you go to school, then you can learn how to cook it 10 times, 10 different types of ways. Yes.
What have you learned, though? What are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned at culinary school?
Just the cooking techniques, basically, and the terminologies. But most of the experience we get when you get to the industry itself, that's when you start, especially here in South Africa, when you're working with beautiful ingredients from South Africa, you learn how to enhance them and all that. But at school, you don't get to that mostly, but you get to learn the basics and but after that you need to broaden up your mind by learning and reading more and all those things. And just experience from the restaurants that you work in or hotels that you work in, yes.
So after culinary school, are you self-taught? Do you continue and continuously teach yourself, or do you reinvent yourself so that you stay relevant with the latest culinary trends?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be relevant. The things that young people are doing these days are amazing, are out of this world. They are bringing science and gastronomy to the kitchen. And, if you want to be on the same level as them, you just have to reinvent yourself all the time and just study more and read more. And, if there's any chefs that inspires you outside there, Google their work and YouTube their work, and just to see some of the techniques and some of the recipes. Not necessarily steal the recipes, but just invent them with our nice South African ingredients, just to make it taste better and different.
But is there a way of not stealing recipes? Because if I were to follow your page and then I see a particular recipe and then I add a bit of flavor, with my own personal touch.
As chefs, we hide some things. We don't we don't usually put everything on the recipe that you would find. Otherwise, it would be easy to emulate.
So it's your own trade secret.
Exactly. If I can put it in that way, it's some of the sauces or ingredients or spices that we use, are not very ordinary that people use this. But when you taste it, you will say, oh, what's this? I'm tasting this on your cucumber. How did you do it like this? A recipe is easy to read, but to cook a recipe is quite different.
And speaking of sauces, I've been side-eyeing the dishes that we've prepared here. And are these some of your sauces?
Yes. So basically,
Just take us through what you have here.
Yes, we'll start on the first course that we presented. That's the chicken ballantine, where we just wrap a chicken and prawn mousse with a chicken breast. We crumb it with some Japanese panko breadcrumbs, we deep fry it. It's then served with a roasted butternut puree. You've got some grilled prawns. You've got a tom yum sauce, which has got more Asian flavors to it. And we just finished off with a basil oil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we make oil out of basil. So we just blend some oil and infuse it with the basil, and we sieve it. It comes out that pure green. Yeah, and then our second course here is a duck. Duck is not very common to most of our black people as well, especially. But we just try to bring in it to our private chef services, and people are loving it. This one there was cured first in some lemon and some ginger, a little bit of sugar and paprika, and some Chinese 5 spice. We just cured it. We roast it whole.
What's the best way of cooking duck, though?
I would say duck has got a lot of oil and moisture, so the first thing you should do is to cure it. Curing releases some moisture and just adds flavor to it.
Right.
And then after that, if you are cooking your duck breast, you just cook it skin first until it's crispy, and then turn it around, cook it on the flesh, maybe 2-3 minutes. It must just come out pink like that.
Is it?
Yes, it's served pink, unless you are cooking the legs. Legs that take longer, you need to braise them down for a few hours. But the breast is something that takes less than 5 minutes to cook, and it's succulent while it's pink.
Okay.
There it's served with some cucumbers, which are compressed in lemon. There's also some pickled fennel, some cherries, a roasted carrot puree, and it's finished off with a duck jus. So all those bones that we use, that we get from the duck, we roast them in the oven, and then we infuse some flavors in there, like some moropoa, your carrots, celery, a little bit of sesame oil in there. We just cook it down, reduce it until it's that consistency. So from the sauce, you have to taste the duck as well, because we use the bones to roast it.
Yeah.
And then on the main course here, it's a lamb loin. So we take a lamb loin.
Lamb loin, okay.
Yeah, it's more like a fillet, but it's smaller and more tender, luxurious. We just take it out from the crown, from the lamb rack that you find in the shop. We roast the rack and make a sauce out of that. You also have some asparagus. You've got a red pepper puree. There's also a potato dauphinoise, where we bake potatoes with layers of...
Say that again?
Potato dauphinoise.
Potato?
Dauphinoise is French.
Dauphinoise, okay.
So we just
terminologies you've learned.
So we lay potatoes with butter, some herbs, and then in this case, we just add a little bit of the lamb neck.
Yes.
We braise down the lamb neck so that you get some more. It's like a duo of lamb now. You got a lamb loin, and you've got some of that lamb neck, which is infused in between the potatoes that we bake. Yeah, and then
just how important is presentation? Because I think I can see you went to town. I mean, you've done very well in terms of making the food more appealing because of the presentation. Just how important is it to ensure that a meal is well presented?
It's very important, and it can go wrong so easily, because in food you get so many different colors, but for them to...
How could it possibly go wrong, though?
Yeah, it's because people, just for a plate to look attractive, they will put attractive ingredients, but forgetting that they also need to taste.
Oh,
yes, people eat with their eyes. The food is beautiful, but everything must make sense on the plate. We don't just put anything for no reason. There's a sauce, especially when it comes to the main course. We also make sure there's a vegetable, there's a protein, there's a starch and a sauce. Yes. A puree is just something to enhance whatever that we are plating on the plate. Yes.
Okay, before you wrap, this is dessert, right?
These are one of our favorite desserts, most popular desserts. So we infuse plain yogurt with some lemon and vanilla. We just wrap it, and we make a strawberry jelly as well. And we wrap that yogurt.
What's the pink layer?
It's a strawberry gel.
Strawberry gel.
Yeah, so we use some, that's the gastronomy that I was talking about. You bring in some gelatin, some agar, just to set it. It creates this thin layer. And then you just take the mousse in a piping bag and put it inside, and then wrap it with that gel. So you will get the lemon-infused yogurt with the strawberry gel aside. We also put some fresh cherries and strawberries aside. There's a crumble, and then it's finished off with the strawberry cheesecake ice cream.
Whoa.
Yes.
Khumbelo, lovely chatting to you, man. All the best. You're doing very well, I can tell.
Thank you so much.
And I can see. Thank you. And where are you available? Do you have your own restaurant, or you only provide private chef services?
For now, we're just still providing private chef services.
How are you reachable?
You can reach me on Instagram. There's Chef_Khumbelo. You will see most of our work there. Just DM us. We'll get back to you as soon as possible about a quote. We cater from 2 people to 1,000 people. It doesn't matter. But this type of plating is the fine dining part. This is the fine dining part of it. It can only accommodate like 50 people. We can't go more than that. If we are going more than that, then
unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
All the best, eh?
Thank you so much.
Great stuff. That was private chef Khumbelo Khangale.